Welcome back to Sports Nightly. It is Monday, which means it's time for Ice Check on Sports Nightly, presented by Owens Community College. That means the Mats are in, Mr. Matt Melzak and Matt Crandall. Gentlemen, we now know who's going to represent Northwest Ohio at the state tournament for the second straight year. It is St. Francis.
And this time, Claire, the good news is they're going to get a chance to play after we recall what happened last year. Matt, let's talk about this game that happened on Saturday night and how St. Francis got it done. It was a matchup we were hoping to see. It was the matchup we ended up seeing, Northview and St. Francis. St. Francis comes away with the 5-2 win. This game really, it seemed like, hinged on the start of the game. Both coaches talked about it beforehand that they wanted to get a good start to the game. It was St. Francis who got the early goal.
3 goals in the first period alone, 90 seconds into the game. Jarrow strikes from Homeyer. That set the tone, put Northview on their heels. Not only the rest of the period, the rest of the game. A late goal by Cameron Horvath, though, in the first made it 3-1. If Northview maybe could have won that second period, Matt, got within 1 to the third, we might have saw the exciting finish that we had last year. This year, St. Francis jumped on them from the get-go, and they didn't look back.
Was that, in your mind, when you get it to 3-1, and we're, I was talking about it in between the periods and getting ready for the second, okay, Northview's got that goal now. They can get settled into the game. It's only a 2-goal contest. St. Francis comes right out, scores another goal there in the early second to make it 4-1, and it kind of dampened that a little bit, that momentum that you thought Northview could have built after one.
Other than the goal scoring, it was a give and take kind of affair. Not a lot of shots, but a lot of action in the game. But as far as finishing, St. Francis showed they can finish. It was the usual suspects, and Northview, Cameron Horvath pulled them within 4-2 in the third period. But like I said, we just didn't get that dramatic ending that you might have wanted, that you saw the week before, and that we saw a lot in the playoffs with some overtime action this year. But hats off to St. Francis. They played well all year. They were undefeated in league play, and they were undefeated in the districts.
One thing we didn't talk a lot about was the defensive unit for the St. Francis Knights. I thought they played fantastic in the game.
Well, Will Shear was a good pickup for the Knights this year, Matt. But other than that, I talk about experience, guys that have been there before. Northview had some inexperienced guys on defense this year. It showed in the district final, but that's how you get experience, Matt, by playing the season, playing the playoffs. And I gave out a couple golden pucks last week. I got to give one to Riley Box. I thought he had a great year this year. Hopefully number 13 for St. Francis can keep it rolling. And while I'm talking about Will Shear, I've been impressed with Will. As you know, he was hurt during the beginning of the year. Came back strong. Big contributor there for the Knights. A couple of golden pucks at you, Matt.
There you go. Good stuff there. So St. Francis moving on. They play this weekend. A possibility is out there. If they can win on Saturday, they could end up with St. Ed's, who is the #1 team in the state. They were the only other one, like St. Francis, that made it through their bracket to get to the Final Four.
Well, if you're stuck here, Toledo Cherokee, they will be playing Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Ice House, second round of the playoffs. If they beat Pittsburgh this weekend, they're off to Virginia City for nationals. So Friday, 7 o'clock, Sunday, if necessary, at the Ice House, because Saturday night they're in Pittsburgh. Let's go Cherokee.
There you go. They've got some playoff action. St. Francis deep into the playoffs. They've got an opportunity to bring, hopefully, a state title back here to Northwest Ohio, Claire.
And we will have highlights of that St. Francis Walsh Jesuit game coming up on Sports Nightly this Saturday, as well as coverage, hopefully, of a state title game on Sunday. We'll see.